Hi there folks, my name is NovaWrap24 and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for your simulation release news and goings on from the week that was. So here we are on Sunday the 23rd of July 2017 for the late edition of the NovaWrap. I do apologise folks, but I had a very busy day today, a little shattered, so this is coming to you a little late, but nevertheless the news will get through, the release news will get through, and so here we are for the episode. Alrighty folks, so without any further ado, let's get ourselves underway, and we're going to start this week with something that I gave a quick preview of earlier in the week, which is the Captain Sim 737-200 series. So this is, the core product itself has been around for a while now, but we have just seen it fully updated into prepared version 4, so finally taking advantage of all the beautiful lighting and some of the extra coding and some of the extra options available in prepared version 4, so it's good to see. Now just a note that this is a new purchase, so you will need to buy it again if you do want to make it work with prepared version 4. Not sure if the team are doing a discount line. If you've previously purchased the 737-200, it doesn't appear that they are, which is a bit of a shame, but anyway, but otherwise, if you do want to check it out, they do offer a free demo though, so if you do want to give it a shot, you can give it a free demo, and as I said, they offer the 737-200 base pack, then you can upgrade it with 3 different additional versions of the 737-100, the 200 Advance, and the 200C, and the 200 Freighter variants, so cargo and freighter variants, so plenty of options for you, available for your nostalgic jetliner pleasure, and as I said, it's kind of available now from the Captain Sim store, starting at $50 US for the base pack and going up from there. Yes, as I said, if it is something that tickles your fancy and you do want to see in prepared version 4, head over that and grab that now. Alright, continuing on in other release news this week, so continuing on with the prepared sort of and the ESP platforms, the guys over at PMDG have brought out their Douglas DC6 Cloudmaster. So previously this was their first product released into the X-Plane world, and was quite well received, and they've now finally brought it across over into the ESP platform. So this is available in 2 versions, so one version is available for FSX and FSX Steam Edition, and then another version is available for the prepared family, so prepared version 2, 3, and 4. So yeah, just a word of warning that yeah, if you buy the FSX one, it does not mean it will work in prepared. If you buy the prepared one, it does not mean it will work in FSX. So choose wisely, as they say. But the one cool thing is the fact that the prepared version is compatible with all the prepared versions available. So that's always useful to have and great to see. As I said, this one's coming in as a PMDG. Just to, as we all know, it's be honest, they do stunning work. They do absolutely stunning work. The incredible detail that they have in there for all the layout managers and all the extra stuff that they put in there is absolutely really cool. The interesting thing that they've got about this one is also they've got the artificial flight engineer, which is something that I actually really appreciate. I'm kind of in awe of, and kind of really pleased with that they've actually brought this in. Because this basically means that for pilots who may not be so familiar with the type and might be taking their first steps into something that is such highly detailed as PMDG is, it can be very overwhelming. It really can be. And you know, I remember talking to the guys over at that run the Aerosoft store, and their number 1 return product was the PMDG. Was PMDG, the 737 and the 777, and it would always be with a note like it doesn't work, and it's like, no, the software's fine, your system can run it. It's just that you haven't read the fucking manual, and you haven't taken the time to learn it. So this is actually a really good initiative from PMDG, putting the artificial flight engineer in there. It can actually walk you through, actually help you with the checklists, and help guide you through it, so you actually learn the airframe. And that's a really cool idea, and I'm really impressed. I hope to see PMDG roll that out to the other their other aircraft as well. That would be really cool to see. Anyway, but yes, if you do want to pick up your PMDG DC6 Douglas DC6 Cloudmaster, it is available now from the PMDG website, coming in at $70 US for your chosen platform, available now. Alright, so sticking with the ESP world at the moment and moving this time now into the world of scenery releases. So we've been a very busy week for scenery releases this week. So we're going to start this week with the guys over at FSDG. So one of my favourite developers. They do some quirky, weird stuff, and just generally, and do really good quality work. So they've come out with Agadir Airport. So Agadir is a Moroccan airport, which is again one of the coastal resort towns, and is the third largest airport available in Morocco. And they've done it with their usual quality of detail, including a lot of the terminal buildings and just absolutely beautiful, stunning looking sort of scenery. I love their attention to detail, things like like the baggage carts with actual baggage in it and things like that. And the framework and the actual sort of tile work that's gone onto the terminal buildings that's raised. It's not sort of just like an image painted on. It's actually raised tile work. Like, that's cool. Really amazing, very high detail 3D objects for the airport and the surrounding areas. Full volumetric lighting, fully compatible with dynamic lighting of prepared version 4 as well, with animated apron traffic, and compatible with all the major global terrain meshes and global upgrades, so FDX Global and that kind of thing. So always good to see they're keeping their compatibility as well. So yes, this is available now from the FSDG website for coming in at around about $15 or your regional equivalent, and will be available from other flight sim retailers available soon. And other scenery releases this week, so it's been hinted at for a few weeks, and the guys over at Drzwecki Designs have come out with their New York airports. So this time around, the New York airports have been rebooted into two separate packages. So the New York airports V2 version 2X has been released as two packages, as I said, one including JFK, LaGuardia and Teterboro, and the other one including Newark, Linden and Caldwell Essex airports. So this is at the moment only for the FSX or the ESP based platforms, including prepared version 4. And as I said, these are products that have been around a while, but these are the reboot ones that include updated AFCADs for all the airports, updated high quality images and buildings for the surrounding terrain as well, and it's fully compatible with the New York City X from Drzwecki as well as Manhattan X and all Orbit X products as well. So again, his quality scenery, if you haven't heard of Drzwecki Design, then you've probably been under a rock for a while. His quality is outstanding, it really is, and this is no exception, and great to see that he's still updating. So yes, so price coming in at around about €20, so about $25 or your regional equivalent, available now. Now, if you do previously have version 1, you do get an upgrade discount as well of around about sort of 25%, depending on the retailer, and that's just make sure that you log in using the same account. So there you go. So that's available now from your favorite flight sim retailer, available now. Alrighty, continuing on with other scenery releases. So we saw two releases from the guys over at Orbix this week. So the first one we saw was one of the smaller airports. So it's for L05 Kern Valley Airport. So this is a beautiful little airport nestled in the Kern Valley in the Lake Isabella area, about 35 nautical miles northeast of Bakersfield in California. So this is designed to work with FTX and North America's Southern California regions. So make sure you do have that one if you are going to be picking this one up. But as I said, it looks like a really neat little airport. It's one of those sort of like hideaway sort of airports that you can sort of just do a day trip out to and just enjoy. This absolutely looks pretty damn cool. There's over 250 square kilometers of imagery and model terrain included with this as well. Custom terrain mesh and beautiful set of true to life detailing on the airport buildings and the surrounding areas as well. So looking pretty damn amazing, and just a beautiful little like detour day VFR kind of trip for this one. So yes, coming in available at $25 Australian from the Orbix website, available now. In the other release this week, we saw this is one of the really long-awaited releases from the guys over at Orbix, which is Bilbao Airport. So Bilbao Airport is the largest city in the Biscay province of the Basque Country in Spain, and it is an absolutely beautiful part of the world. By the way, it really is a beautiful part of the world, and this airport is just your perfect way of accessing this area, the part of the world. It really is. So a beautiful way to actually sort of work in with the European land class as well, and just be able to sort of explore FTX Global. This airport is just absolutely stunning. It really is. It's got the beautiful high detail to the area. It's got around about 200 square kilometers of the surrounding area has also been modeled as well. The whole city of Bilbao has been included in beautiful high definition, high resolution, including some a ton of customized autogen put in for that city as well, along with customized landmarks. So VFR flyers, you have not been forgotten. A lot of the bridges and major landmarks and monuments have been included and modeled beautifully. So you are going to be able to explore that as well. So looking absolutely incredible, it really does. The whole harbour area is also included as well, with custom buildings, custom boats as well. So this is really, this is the benchmarking and sort of amazing, stunning stuff that you see in scenery design. It really is, and just looks absolutely amazing. So this one's coming in at $40 Australian, or your regional equivalent, available now from Orbix. Another intriguing release for this week is the latest release of FS Global Mesh from the Pilots Group. So, a lot of people sort of sometimes scratch their heads and wonder what terrain mesh is. Terrain mesh is basically the pointiness of the ground. The shapes of the mountains, the depths of the valleys, and the sort of the shapes of some of the coastlines and stuff like that. So, it's interesting and challenging, and a kind of a required part of a sim. And the fact is that the mesh data that comes with the ESP platforms isn't that flash. It's really not. And there's various measures out there, but it's sort of considered that Pilots is considered to be the best one out there. Now, what Pilots have done previously, they've had their FS Global 2010 mesh. Now, they've just released their first update in a long time. But what's interesting is they've released two products this time. So they've released FS Global Ultimate Next Generation and FS Global 2018. Now, at the core of it, they're both exactly the same product. They'll do the same thing. They will improve the mountains and make sure so your terrain actually looks like what it should do in the real world, at least in terms of elevation changes and things like that. However, the detail that you get is what's going to change. Basically, the main difference is, apart from the $30 price tag difference, is the fact that FS Global Ultimate gives you 80 gig of data, which is I think it's about double the amount of data that comes with the FS Global one, and gives you resolutions detailed up to 1 meter elevation change detail. Like, that's batshit insane. It gives you over 500 times the default amount of terrain mesh data that's included as standard in the ESP platform. The other really interesting thing is that it also includes bathymetry data, so you can actually get into that submarine from prepared and actually explore the ocean bottom, and it will actually have the correct elevation, or submerged elevation, whatever it is. I don't know. But as I said, it's overall, though, they still do essentially the same thing. It's just FS Global Ultimate will give you better detail, is basically the only difference. FS Global 18, though, is still going to be sufficient for most people, and is probably the closest to the 2010 data. Though the data set in both FS Global Ultimate and Global 18 is up to date as of 2017, so it's been updated with more data, more LiDAR data from other satellites and other satellite sources other than just SRTM data, and also backed up by a lot more regional, local geodesic survey data as well from various national agencies around the world. A lot of high detailed of various parts of the world are included here, including Lot 11 in a lot of parts of the world, which is 19-meter resolution, as up to 1 meter resolution for some places if you use the FS Global Ultimate Edition, and some amazing, stunning, source data for huge tracts of the world. So, looking pretty damn amazing. There isn't an alignment of airport elevations tool required. It does require a registration, a free registration over the FSIM website. But as I said, looking pretty damn slick. It's not cheap though, but bear that in mind. But it is on a fairly generous discount at the moment until 15th of August, both for new customers and existing customers, where you can get the Global Ultimate version for $90, or you can get the Global 2018 version for $60 Australian. So available now from the Flight Sim store. Alrighty, in other simulation release news this week, so we saw one pretty cool thing from the guys over at Hi-Fi Studios. So their Active Sky product for prepared version 4 in the ongoing march of things that are being updated for P3D version 4 has exited their beta testing and is available now as a full version download. Now, there's a really cool thing about this one I just want to point out, that Hi-Fi have been really good to the community. Excuse me, and what they've done is that for anyone who is already an owner of Active Sky 16, for prepared version you automatically get a free license to ASP4 included. That's just it. Bang, done. It's a free upgradable. Don't have to pay any extra upgrade fees. It's straight away there. And also the other thing is that if you are coming in and buying it now, whether you buy ASP4 or whether you're buying AS16 for prepared version 3, doesn't matter. You will get a license for the other version as well. So I'm really impressed, and I'm really happy that the guys at Hi-Fi did that. That's a really great community gesture that they did for that one, so really awesome. And thank you so much to you guys for the work, and thank you to the beta testers for the work as well. I've been mucking around with it. Yeah, it's definitely looking quite nice and works very seamlessly with prepared version 4. So yes, great work. Thanks very much, guys, for bringing it to life and making sure it's up to date. And it's a great way to show your support to the community for including the upgrade for free for existing user license holders. So if you haven't grabbed it yet, and if you do have Lockheed Martin's prepared version 4, head on over to the Hi-Fi SimTech Simulation Technologies page and the download page and download that. And when it asks you for the product key, you just enter in your Active Sky for prepared version 3 key. Or alternatively, as I said, if you're buying it new, it coming in at around about $55 US or your original equivalent, available now from your favorite flight sim retailer. Alrighty, moving into other release news for this week, and moving this time into the world of X-Plane. So, a couple of releases this week of new aircraft for X-Plane. One of which for me is really exciting for me because it's possibly one of my favorite airplanes. It really is, which is the Beech 200 King Air. I love this airplane. It is an absolute pocket rocket. It is awesome. I love it in F6 and prepared, and I'm so happy that Carinato brought it over to X-Plane 11. They really have. So believe me, it is in my shopping cart right now, because I'm really interested to see how it compares with the ESP version. Now this one is is designed to take advantage of all the extra features of X-Plane 11. As far as I can tell, it is not backwards compatible to X-Plane 10, FYI. So it is only for X-Plane 11 and above. And it has been redesigned purely to take advantage of the engine dynamics for X-Plane 11, flight physics and flight and ground handling, as well as full advantages of the physically based rendering of materials and textures. Ice and rain effects are included, including ice behavior in clouds, which is really kind of scary and kind of cool. Full HD textures and night lighting and all the usual stuff that we expect from Carinato as well. But as I said, really great to see them continuing on and continuing to explore the X-Plane universe with this one. So looking amazing. Available now. So this one's available now from your favorite flight sim retailer, or from the Carinato site, coming in around about $35 US or your original equivalent, available now. In another X-Plane release this week, we saw the EV55 Outback. So this is a random little turboprop, which is sort of still, the prototype only flew a few years ago in 2011. As far as I can tell, it hasn't received any firm orders yet that I can see. But basically, this is sort of like a STOL twin turboprop, designed to sort of fill a similar niche role as the Dornier 228. uh, sorry, it's the Dornier 28, 28, 28, and or the it's just something that's small, so it's good, or the Twin Otter. Something that can serve as both as a cargo carrier and as a light passenger transport, and be able to operate in hot and high conditions. So the PT6s are just amazing quality engines, and this thing looks pretty cool, pretty interesting, and it's very box-like fuselage, so it's sort of designed to maximise its cargo space as well. So yeah, very interesting little model, this one. Very interesting aircraft with an interesting history, and this one's come to us from designer Arcturus Delineations. So yeah, looking pretty amazing. As I said, coming in very affordably as well, coming in at $15 US or your original equivalent. So if you did want to give this a try, I mean, this looks quite interesting. I'm intrigued by it, that's for sure. I'm definitely intrigued by it, and it could be quite interesting to see. And hopefully see that it's almost successful as well, because it has a very Dornier look to it. Anyway, but if you do want to give it a try for X-Plane, this is available now. It's compatible with X-Plane 10 and 11, available now from the X-Plane store at $15 US or your regional equivalent, available now. Alrighty, moving away from the flight simulation world now, moving into the permanent way. So the guys over at Train Simulator have released their latest of their TS Pro range with the Network Southeast Class 205 train. So this is a diesel electric multiple units, which is sort of which is still an electric train, but it's done by a onboard diesel generator, so it doesn't have to rely on the overhead wires. And so it sort of was one of those. It's sort of that intermediary stage when not all railways were electrified yet, but there were people wanting to move away from sort of polluting materials and wanted to find more efficient ways of doing it. So the Class 205 sort of came into that sort of interesting sort of time frame where it was trying to sort of look at doing things away from different to the normal, but because not all the tracks it was going to be operating on were going to be electrified yet, it had to do its own onboard electrification. So yeah, an interesting little solution to it, and a great piece of British engineering for this one. So yes, this was the British Rail Class 205 Thumper, as it would be known locally. It would actually live on and it was introduced. It was introduced in the 1950s, I believe, late 1950s, and would continue soldering and serving on until 2004, when their final line they operated in the south east was actually electrified, and other trains were actually brought on board to replace them. But yeah, this is it. It's got an interesting, fascinating history of this one. So this is a highly detailed train with highly detailed graphics based on one of the last ones to ever actually survive. Highly detailed and very physically accurate to an actual real train surviving model, including authentic and accurate electric propulsion auto braking systems, and user-changeable head code blinds as well, with cab secure radio functionality included as well. You complete it with a cold and dark start option, which is something that Dovetail Games seem to be very much of late, isn't it just? But yeah, as I said, it also comes with 3 scenarios as well, but the 3 scenarios do require the London to Brighton route to be installed as well. So if you do want to be able to unlock those 3 career scenarios, you will have to have that add-on as well, so it's available separately. But yeah, as I said, overall looking not too bad, and coming in at $20 US or your original equivalent, available now on Steam. Alrighty, and rounding out the simulation release news for this week, we saw another release for this one for all the Eurofishing crowd. So Eurofishing it was Dovetail Games' sort of interesting little experiment a little few years ago, and honestly I didn't think it was going to last, but it survived, and the community has really flocked to it and loved it. Now, what they've done is they've now released their first round of new actual fishing spots for Eurofishing, which is kind of interesting, kind of cool. This one is an artificial lake set in sort of like a city environment. So to me, it's sort of looking like it's sort of like based somewhere as if it's in sort of in central London somewhere near the Docklands. But as I said, it's a man-made lake, 11-acre man-made lake with over 400 fish included in there for you to catch. patch. So looking pretty cool, pretty interesting. I'm really loving the urban vibe of it, I really do, and the dynamic lighting and stuff that's in there is pretty damn cool as well. Yeah, not too bad. Very interesting, very interesting. But yeah, as I said, the urban style of this one, of Foundry Dock, is really cool, really kind of interesting, and yeah, as I said, very, very much reminds me of sort of the Docklands in London. It really does. Anyway, but so if you do want to expand your fishing experience to some new places with some new challenges, you can pick this one up. So this one normally comes in at $11 US. Currently on a launch special of $8.25, so 25% off at the moment. Or if you are looking at picking up it with the core game as well, you can get an Urban Edition bundle coming in at about $25 US, available now on Steam. Alright folks, well that does round out the simulation release news this week. Thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. Alright folks, thanks very much for joining me. Take care, safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.